Hi there, Andrew. I'm going to look at phase one beginner warm-up. And so in this level here, we're going to start with leaning calf raises. So you just want to find a spot on the wall, okay, and just come back so you get a nice stretch in the calves and just come up. And we just want to get the lower body, lower leg tissues loosened up. From there we can go into jumping jacks, which I know everyone has seen before. And then from jumping jacks into seal jumping jacks, and that'll just kind of get you warmed up from there. After that, you want to go into the hurdle steps, okay, and so you're just kind of stepping up and over. Imagine that you're stepping up and over something, and the goal is as you step to not let the back bend, but just keep it in a nice position here as you're coming up and over, so the movement is isolated into the hip joint. After hurdle steps, you want to stretch out the hip flexors. So you just want to come down in this position, tuck the bum under, squeeze the glutes, and push into a nice stretch for the hips. Okay, that's really important for loosening up the hips and just allowing the hip flexors to relax and allowing the glutes to fire better, which is very, very important for optimal performance. From there, we want to go into a hip hinge, and this is just a key movement we want to practice. And so basically, you're going to stand tall with the weight on your heels, kind of karate chop here, and push back at the hips there. Okay, this is a great exercise Dan John has taught us. And at the top of the movement, finish by squeezing the glutes. Don't arch back, but stand tall and squeeze the glutes. Oops, if you fall backwards, that's too far. Just in this position here. For a lot of people, when they're first starting, the other thing that's helpful is to actually push back towards a wall, and that just gives you a target spot and a little bit of help. From there, we're going to go into a squat stretch, which is a kind of a combination thing I've learned from Dan John and Mark Ripito. And what you're going to do in this position here, you just get in this position here, push your knees apart with your elbows or your forearms, depending on your height, and then alternate pushing your chest out and pushing the belly out and just sitting back in there. Okay. For a lot of people when they're first starting this, it helps to kind of have a wall behind them with the bum just lightly touching the wall so they don't fall backwards, and they can really get the feel of sitting back into the squat. From there we go to planking, just to activate the core. We don't want to do a ton of this right now, but you can just do a front plank, body nice and straight, glutes tight, and the same idea on the side, and then following that up with the other side. Okay. From there we're going to go into a cat camel. So you're just going to be this position here, just moving up and down. Great exercise I learned from my chiropractor, Dr. Jay Renix. And what you want to do is try to chin in, squeeze the shoulders together, and really try to extend in the upper spine there. Okay. Also what helps is to kind of breathe out as you go into that position, and that just relaxes the body and allows it to loosen up. From there we go into kneeling rotation. Okay, so with this one I'm going to push this bottom hand into the ground and then just grabbing my ribs, just reach and look with my eyes as far behind me as I can. Okay, if you find that you're twisting from the low back, which you don't want to do, just sit a little bit deeper into a squat and you'll be set. So do that both sides. Then we follow that up with some arm circles, so just the arms starting in a small circle and then just getting bigger and bigger. You can go fairly quick with that one and then just reverse the motion from there. That we follow up with some reverse lunges. So you're going to get in this position here and then just reach up overhead. So you just come right back so the knee touches the ground, and then in that kneeling position, reach overhead. Don't do too many of those, you'll get too tired. And then we just follow this up with some single leg balance. Okay, so just a nice athletic position and then just alternating just to work with some proprioception and balance. And that wraps up phase one beginner warm-up.